Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for joining us. Today we are covering Destinies by Lucky Duck Games. And Jan, tell the audience how long we've been recording and what time it is currently.
I know. You mean in the day? The entire day? Well, we've been recording Destiny stuff for about an hour and a half.
And it is currently 1:10 in the morning.
Yep, yes it is.
Jan, what'd you say to me right before I hit record on this?
Are we really recording this now?
And I said, heck yes we are. So, caveats out of the way, we've only played this game once. We literally just unboxed it, sat down, started to play. Jan, you'd already gone through the rulebook.
Yes.
But honestly, this game was so darn accessible.
Yep.
I feel like I could have swung into it from the get-go. And the other caveat that we need to do in front of this, because I assume this is going to come out ahead of all the other videos we're doing, we are doing a series of sponsored gameplay videos with Lucky Duck.
Yep.
Let me say that loud and clear. Lucky Duck and us are working together on a 1-player, 2-player, 3-player, and whatever other players I want to do. That caveat out of the way.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever seen you this excited about something.
Jan. They're not sponsoring this video. They don't even know I'm recording this video.
Yes.
I'm going to beg them to allow me to release this video before any of the stuff we're actually doing officially together. Jan.
What do you want to say, Jesse? Just say it. Say it.
This is in my top 10. This is in my top 10. This is so... All right, Destinies. Let me explain what this game is. This game is going to be like a hybrid of seventh content when it comes to tile exploration
Chronicles of Crime.
And Chronicles of Crime when it comes to the app-driven narrative element of it. And I know I just said app-driven and you're thinking to yourself, that sounds miserable. Here's the thing, it's not. It's really not. The app is built so well. The music, the thematics, the story, the shifting seasons, the way that it helps you build your map as you play, the characters and storyline progression, none of that would be able to be manageable if you were just running this game on its own through a storybook. This game does RPG, does story, it's a little adventure RPG game where you're taking one of your characters, you have a single row of stats, you have cards and items and weapons and things that you can upgrade, and throughout the course of the game, you're going to be progressing through this. You're going to be deciding where you're actually going to go, what you're going to interact with, and every day that you spend, every cycle that you spend, it's going to be updating and letting you know how the map's transforming. You see all these little dots and pieces and miniatures that have been brought onto the board. Those are all things we can interact with. There's still tiles that we haven't explored, there's still characters we haven't played, and we have various different storylines that we could go down, branching pathways that we could have, options that we could have found. You stole things from me that I didn't even need to get, and I could have done it a different way, and there was a whole narrative ending, and I fought a thing, and it was major, and it was massive, and here's the thing, here's the coolest thing that it does. The app is going to walk you through the entire process of this and the narrative, and there's going to be voice at the very front, and there's 17 different books and things that you can go through, and there's a character that we didn't even play, and
Jesse. Okay. First of all, as a clarifying note, Jesse hates app-driven games in general, so for him to be that excited about something, he genuinely actually really likes this. So what makes Time of Legends Destinies particularly special, if you didn't get any of that, is how well this app is integrated into the base mechanics of the game. The dice rolling is interesting. You have a plethora of cards that you have access to that allow you to kind of evolve things as you go along.
He's talking so slow.
This is you. This is your pace. A plethora of cards that you can use to evolve your character as everything goes along. And speaking of evolving your character, there's also a trait, a stack of elements, different abilities like fighting, knowledge, and kind of cunning that you'll also be able to kind of evolve and progress throughout the game. Every single character in this is going to have something for you to do, is going to be able to tell you something unique, is also going to be able to give you special items, maybe depending on how you do in some tests, and now I'm going to talk very slowly.
If you like RPG games, listen, if you like RPG games, this is a no-brainer, hands down. If you're not sure, if you don't believe that flavor text is the best mechanic that has ever existed, you're not looking for a story that you want to go through, and you're not entirely convinced that RPG games are the games that you want to play, this is mechanics light. Let me be clear about that. You're going to be rolling dice, resolving them based on your track, and using cards, special abilities to decide how you want to interact. The main thing you're doing is journeying through an involving story that's going to be talking to you directly because the app updates with what you've done on the board, from priests roaming to different things to monks disappearing and monsters killing things. It's done really, really well. But if you're not an RPG player, if you're not a story-driven player, this is not the game for you. Hands down, period.
No, I don't agree with you.
I think it is the best way to start exploring that genre, though. No, really, I think a family could sit down that's never played an RPG game ever in the past, and they could start figuring out what it's like to play a role-playing style game.
Wait a minute. This is not necessarily just for people that like RPGs. I genuinely believe that there's a fun to be had and there's interest here. If you've ever been into exploration...
It's mechanics like, though.
Sure, but if you've ever been to exploration type games like Tainted Grail and Seven Continent, this is going to be your entryway into any of that entire genre. If you're looking for mystery, if you're looking for something that is just beckoning for you to open it again and kind of get deeper into that.
Jan's absolutely right. If you like any of those heavier like exploration world adventure games that you're still going down a narrative pathway, that you feel like your character's going to be evolving and all the different items and pieces that you get throughout the course of the story is going to be like cascading into something that you can really sink your teeth into, this is going to be a good way to start getting started on some of those larger big box games.
And this
way more accessible than any of them.
And the reason why I don't think this is exclusively for RPG players is because the flavor text is actually fairly light. You're reading tidbits, you're reading pieces of flavor text that is slowly giving everything out, which just makes the entire experience much more accessible and digestible for someone.
And the really
like
cool
me.
thing about the way the flavor text is written is that it's integrated into everything. So like as you're making decisions, the flavor text is going to be updated accordingly. It's going to have your name in there. It has to be done through the app or it wouldn't be possible. Along with that, with the evolving world, the flavor text is always going to have hints and pieces of the story and the narrative in it. So you have to read and pay attention because it's part of the game. Like, it's good enough. Like, you should pause and spend a little bit of time on the flavor text itself because it is telling you what you need to play.
Now, speaking of playing and flavor text and I'm gonna bring this in, stumbling along to longevity. The Destinies game, specifically depending on how many players you're playing with, is going to have, you're not going to be able to repeat all the stories if you're not a huge fan of knowing how everything turns out. For example, in our 2-player game, I know exactly what I need to do as a huntsman in order to succeed at one of his destinies.
You know one of my two
One of them. And then you also know a very good idea of how to succeed with the witch. We also know what directions. Yes. But if you're just trying to game the game, there's only one way that you will probably solve that.
I think the charm in this is going to be in the fact that you can explore so many different narratives and so many different people. And the thing that I've talked with Lucky Duck about, the reason why we're doing a 3-player gameplay is because the opportunity to get in each other's way a little bit more in a larger gameplay is much more direct than it is in a 2-player. In a 2-player, we're solving the puzzle together, and we can have things that happen where it's like, I didn't quite get what I needed, right? Or like, you took something from me, but it wasn't as involved. Whereas in a 3-player gameplay, you're much more like open-ended, exploring the map, getting in each other's way, taking things that the other people needs, and like having this negotiation, this balance of the world shifting in front of you as you play. And in a solo game, you're just doing your best to explore. Like, I want to go back to the scenario we just played with a huntsman and do it with the other thing.
But you're a fan of flavor text. That's what I mean. So, with that said, as a solo gamer, though, you're going to have 3 potential completely unique routes that you can take every single time for the first time. And then you're going to have another option if you just want to kind of discover what's at the end. So there is variability here. It just depends on how you're approaching it.
The other really cool thing about this is it doesn't require you to have a constant internet access in order to do it. You can download the app and then you can download the thing. And what I recommend when you're ever playing with something that requires internet,
download everything.
Disconnect it from the freaking internet because the internet sucks when you're trying to play a board game, and just have the app that's running here. And don't let anyone touch their phones. Just leave the app sitting right here. Everyone can interact with it. It's going to be updating. Read the story out loud. Involve yourself in everything. This is in my top 10. This is in my top... I don't know where it's in my top 10. It's there, though. It really is there. I want nothing more than to sit down and play this again.
This has... I think this is a master...
I told you in the middle of the gameplay that I might not ever play other games.
This is the master... I am also a huge fan of this. I did horribly, but I am an incredible fan of this game. This is a master class. Probably the best game I've ever seen do this. To involve apps and actual components. There's nothing that compares. Even Chronicles of Crime, which was actually a marvel when it came out, not even close. This has completely blown me out of the water what is possible and how we integrate these two systems.
Okay, I said this is going to be like a 12-minute video.
It is. You've spoken so quickly. Like, how much are we right now?
We're like 8 in.
You're 9. We're 9 minutes in, yes.
For the next 3 minutes, let's tell people why they should not get this game.
If If
Listen,
you don't
I
like
mean,
light games,
let's be serious. This is a light story-driven game.
It is a light story-driven
If you're
game.
into Euros or Perfect Information, if you want
Sure.
something that doesn't have the opportunity to swing it against your favor, there's a degree of luck. There's a degree of getting in each other's way. It isn't cooperative, which is unique for this genre.
It is competitive.
It is competitive.
There could be people getting in your way, as you said as well,
And
which
on
might be
top
annoying
of
for
that,
some people.
are going to lose. And for games that involve exploration and discovery and story, that's not as common of an experience.
Like
And
me,
so,
I didn't get to fulfill my part of the story.
depending on your gaming group, you might be left with a story that wasn't resolved.
Yep,
and
correct.
you want to go see that again, but it is a bit, heartbreaking to
Yes.
not know. I mean, your story...
Also because I know what
actually,
happened.
Let's clarify. Your story was resolved at the end of mine. Your story, it didn't suck. You were miserable.
Yeah.
Your story literally
Like in
said...
real life.
Yes. Your story literally said, you lost...
And you went to the woods and died.
And you went to the woods and probably died alone.
Yes.
If that degree of, and I could see with a family playing, that might leave some people feeling bad.
Sure. And also, I'm not sure where in the age range this lies, but we did see some pretty, morbid situations. It wasn't described
we were playing
incredibly.
like a werewolf thing. It wasn't gory, but it definitely didn't hold back. There was a missing hand and stuff
So
like
when
that.
we talk about accessibility in story games, you can introduce everyone to. There might be an age range
think
where you have to
12.
be careful.
I think 12.
Yes, I think 12 is probably
where's
a
the
good
box
amount.
cover? Let's see what they're advertising it for.
The box cover, I think it's going to be on the back actually.
Let's see
box
here.
cover.
14 plus.
14 plus. Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Seems reasonable.
12 if they're very mature.
What else is going on here? I don't think there's as much replayability with every story as I'd like to think.
Sure.
My replayability is going to be the fact that there's 16 characters in the base game and so many different pathways with every single one of them. But I don't know that I want to go play the same Silver Chalice with the Huntsman again.
Correct.
I sort of want to go down a different one. Now, I think you'd have fun playing it.
Yeah.
But for me, I want to try another puzzle.
Here's the interesting thing about the Chronicles of Crime series, and something I suspect here. All of these components can be used in the future. Yeah. So this has legs beyond the base
We're
system.
telling people why they should not be getting this.
Right. Yeah.
You need an iPad or a phone. If you don't have an iPad, computer, or phone...
Jesse, we live in the 20th century.
Don't get this game.
They have one of the three. Okay. No matter what. That's not a negative.
Well, then what are we going to criticize?
I was actually going to say that box probably costs a quarter of what you'd expect it to, and it is chock full of everything you need.
Well, then what are we going to criticize?
I think we've been clear that this game is not going to be for everyone, and specifically for those that don't like games that are not necessarily very heavy.
I don't want to promise people that I love this game and then have them get hyped and then have them get it and be let down.
Jesse, I'm going to be honest. I don't see this game letting people down if we're clear that this is a light, cooperative, competitive story-based game that involves really fun discovery could have potentially unforgiving die rolls, but there is some level of mitigation in there, that you have slight levels of tableau building where the story is developed in a way that you know where to go, you know what items might be there. And it has a ton.
The miniatures are small.
Yes, the miniatures are. I actually love that the minis are small.
Well, you can't say that.
I'm just saying. I don't know, man. I think this might, if we ever had a rating scale, this might be at the tippity top of that. I loved every second of this, even though I absolutely sucked.
we do have a rating scale. So I do bourbons. I do a rating scale of bourbons. So
okay, wait. There is a thing. There could be certain situations if you lock yourself out that you won't be able to progress. But you have to try. You have to do very bad in order to lock yourself out, like I did.
What's your rate? Are you gonna do a rating scale? Shira does a 7 through 3.
What?
Well, 7 through 3.
A 7 through 3.
Yeah. Are you gonna do a 1 through 10? What's your scale gonna be?
Now I feel like super generic if I do a 1 through 10.
Okay.
What is a 7 through 3?
How many muskrats would you include?
No, out of every series of Pokemon there's ever been.
Okay.
I will give this a first generation. Yes, exactly.
What?
Yeah.
What? Your first generation this?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, first generation or last generation, which are both incredible.
The last gen was not as good as first gen.
No, the last
I got the
one.
nostalgia for first gen.
No, I know, but this is not nostalgia. I'm just saying in terms of quality and what you're experiencing here.
All right.
This is quite compelling and actually incredible what they've done. And this freaking thing right here is
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Perfect. It's perfect.
I'm going bourbons. I always go bourbons.
What do you mean? It's going to be a 1.
5 out of 5 bourbons.
No.
I'll walk you through.
But then you would be completely drunk. Well, I guess you could.
5 out of 5 bourbons.
Yep.
At one bourbon, I'm having fun with a bunch of friends. We're sitting down, we're playing. The bourbon's really a side dish to the game. The
bunch of friends,
excellent.
3 friends, max.
At 2 bourbons, we're halfway through the story.
Yep.
Narrative's involving. I'm focused a little bit more, drinking probably faster than I should, but still enjoying the heck out of it. 3 bourbons, I'm having a good time, and I think victory's right there at the cusp. 4 bourbons, I'm about to lose the game, but I don't mind because my friend's story is so damn good.
Yeah.
I'm just in. I'm in all the way. 5 bourbons, my friends have left. I'm still playing this game, but I'm doing it alone, and it functions beautifully. That's the reality. This is a 5 out of 5 bourbons for me.
I think this game reminded Jesse of how much he actually loves board games. I think this is one of the reasons why he's so excited.
It's so good.
It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be actually at an incredible price range. Sincerely, if you're looking for something unique and different in your library that you're going to be able to just enjoy, this game is going to be worth it 100%.
Again, end of the video, I'll double caveat it so I don't have people grumbling in the comment section down below. I am doing sponsored gameplay video with Lucky Duck for this game.
We don't ever sell our opinions, period. I don't care.
No,
like
we
if
don't.
they want to think that, that's fine. But
it's fine for them.
It's their prerogative.
I just have to caveat it
sure,
a little bit,
I hear you.
Because
but
I'm telling people this is a deal, like this is a game breaker for me. This is a other games stay on the shelf because this one exists type of game.
So what you're saying is I can't have this one.
No.
No.
Well, we need to get multiple copies.
Well, yes, and if there's any expansions, we need all of it. We need all of the things. We need all of the things. Well, either way,
I did not expect this.
Lucky Duck. Holy cow! This is the top of anything you've ever published so far. Like really, you have outdone yourself. I am such a fan of this system right now. This is incredible, and they can do so many different. They can do a crime noir type of deal. They can do a space opera. They can do anything with this system, and it's just going to be fantastic. For everyone that's made it to the end of this. Thank you so much for actually inversing our roles. Me going soft and paced, while Jesse's just completely lost his mind. If you like what you saw, leave a comment, share this video, subscribe if you want. Please subscribe and notifications. But regardless of what you do, remember to do the important thing and really consider getting yourself a copy of Destinies. We'll see you guys later. Take care.